What's going on, everyone? Linkature64 here, and welcome to my discussion of Super Mario Odyssey. Spoiler free, by the way. If you haven't played the game yet, or if you haven't finished the boss, don't worry, you will not be spoiled here. I will be talking a little bit about the end boss and post game stuff, but completely in vague terms so that you won't be spoiled about anything. I guarantee it. Well, anyways, guys, this game, Mario Odyssey, came out just recently, and oh my goodness gracious, I've been playing way too much of it. It is so much fun. Now, does it deserve the perfect scores that it has been getting everywhere? I don't think so, but it is a phenomenal game. I just want to talk about it for a little while and discuss what makes this game so great. So, from the very, very start, the game just throws you right in the middle of it. You start watching an opening cutscene of Mario fighting Bowser over Peach's castle. And Bowser just completely wrecks Mario. Bowser throws his cap out there, it circles around like a boomerang, comes back, hits Mario, Mario goes flying off, and he's launched to the Cap Kingdom. This opening cinematic, I think, was done incredibly well, and does a really, really good job at throwing you right in the middle of the game before you even start playing it. And I really appreciated it for that. It was something that you don't really see too much out of a Mario game. But speaking out of the Cap Kingdom, which is the place that Bowser's hat launches Mario, the Cap Kingdom is, I think, pretty good as a first tutorial sort of area. It kind of has this a little bit of a dark, grim atmosphere to it that, again, you don't really see out of too many Mario games. This is the first time that you really get to mess around with the control scheme a bit, as well as being the first time that you get to capture an enemy, or I guess not in this case an enemy, but you get to capture a frog, a froggo. I love froggos. Those are good boys. But I think that yeah, again, this does well as a good tutorial segment because it shows you the basic mechanics that you'll need to know for just the basic maneuvers of the game, as well as there being a boss fight, and that kind of gets you used to the bosses of the game. Yeah, that's all for the Cap Kingdom. But once you finish the Cap Kingdom, you move on to your first real kingdom, the Cascade Kingdom, where you first start getting power moons. You really start mastering your techniques. You see the 8-bit Mario segments of the levels for the very first time. Cascade Kingdom, I think, is the real first kingdom, and it does a phenomenal job. This is the place where you get to capture a T-Rex. I mean, any game where you can play as a T-Rex has got to be amazing. So, yeah, the Cat Kingdom is great, the Cascade Kingdom is great, and a lot of the kingdoms after that are phenomenally well done, with given a few exceptions, I think. The Lake Kingdom and the Seaside Kingdom weren't really my favorites. I never really have been that much of a fan of underwater levels in terms of Mario games. But I do need to say, though, that I think they did underwater quite a bit better in this game than they have in the past, simply because of the fact that you can capture cheeps or fish in order to swim around much faster. And this is a lot more fun than just swimming around as plain old Mario. So I mean, really, it's underwater. You're moving slower. It's never going to be as fun as jumping around above water, but I think they did a good job at least making it somewhat more enjoyable. Um, so yeah, and then the yeah, as I said, the Cat Kingdom, the Cascade Kingdom are where you first start getting the hang of the controls, and I think the controls are hard to get used to. That's for sure. Getting used to throwing Cappy around takes some doing, and plus there's motion controls. But I'm gonna get a little bit into that later. Being able to throw Cappy, jump off of him, throw him again, and then jump again, you can chain together some really long combos in this. You can cover a massive amount of distance by long jumping, then throwing Cappy, diving, jumping on top of Cappy, then throwing Cappy and diving one more time. It gives you an incredible amount of distance that really has never been possible in a Mario game before. In addition, other moves like throwing Cappy upwards, throwing him to the side, throwing him downwards, those require motion controls. And I feel like this is one of the weak points of the game. The motion controls. No, I need to rephrase that. I hate it. Like, honestly, I can't deal with the motion controls. I love playing with the Pro Controller in this game. I love playing with the Pro Controller on my Switch pretty much all the time, and trying to do the motion controls, I swear, I got used to it after a while. I got used to being able to throw Cappy in a circular motion, like, that was okay, but trying to throw him upwards was just a pain in the neck. You can't throw him downwards at all, unless if you're using the split Joy-Con. I don't know. I don't. I feel like it would be awesome if the motion controls were an option that you could use. If you had the option of either using button controls to throw Cappy in a circle, or throw him upwards, or throw him downwards, or motion controls. But you can't. It's just mapped out to a specific motion. And I don't know. A lot of people are giving this game 10 out of 10s, and I feel like just due to the motion controls alone, it deserves less than that. Because the motion controls really were that big of a detraction for me. Technically, they're not required, but they kind of are if you really want to do every move in the game. Well, let's go back to some more positive notes. Looking at my notes here. After you get out of the Cascade Kingdom, you go into the Sand Kingdom, and you start realizing, holy crap, these power moons are absolutely everywhere. You could talk to a dude and get a power moon. You could go on top of a building and get a power moon. You could play fetch with a dog and get a power moon. You will get power moons for doing everything. And for a lot of people, I feel like on the internet, this has been a big detraction from them for the game, because if you riddle the game with power moons, then it makes each one feel less special. But I disagree. I think that they have done an amazing job at making each power moon feel absolutely amazing, despite the fact that there are over 800. I think they did a phenomenal job with the power moons part. And the other really cool part I like about the collectibles in this game is that there really is only 2 kinds of collectibles per level. I mean, you have your souvenirs that you can buy from the shop, but that's not what I'm talking about. Really, per kingdom, you only have purple coins and power moons. And I really like this. It seems like a lot of games nowadays have all these things that you can do and upgrade and all this stuff. And in Mario, I don't know, it's so relaxing just to go into a kingdom and just realize, hey, I'm just looking for 2 things here. And that's really cool. I don't know how else I could explain it. It's simplistic, I suppose, and I like that a lot about Odyssey. Let's go back to another negative note real quick. I feel like this game advertises a lot to you. Let me explain. So this is something that I don't think many people have brought up, and that is that I think Mario Odyssey kind of forces the switch on you. I mentioned earlier that a lot of the motion controls can't be changed to specific button presses, but it seems like Mario Odyssey is very self-aware that it is on a Nintendo Switch, and it's trying to get you to take full advantage of that Switch's feature. Every single time you open up the game, it will display 10 to 15 seconds of this little splash screen that says, hey, you should use the split Joy-Con. It offers additional motion control options for 10 to 15 seconds every time you open the game. And it's unskippable. In addition, I mean, there are some other spots in the game where you'll run into, like, a painting that gives you a hint for another part of the kingdom. And it'll literally say below the painting, hey, you should take a screenshot of this using the button on the left Joy-Con. And I don't know. There are other moments like that I can't pull out of the top of my head. But it seems like it's kind of... whenever there are moments like that, it kind of brings you out of the joy of the game, I suppose, and reminds you, oh yeah, I'm definitely playing a video game, that's for sure. I don't know, it seems kind of forced. I like the touch of the screenshot option. I just, it seems weird that the game would go out of its way to say, hey, you should screenshot this. It's small, but I feel like it's also a little bit big. I don't know, it's probably just me complaining. So now I'm going to go into a little bit of the final boss in the post-game. Again, very vague terms, so nothing will be spoiled. The boss in this game, for you who have completed it, you know this was unexpected. Like, it's really cool. What you do in the final boss fight against, I mean, everybody knows you fight Bowser, right? You fight Bowser in every Mario game, okay? Okay, you fight Bowser in the final boss fight, but the way that you do it and the twists that it take, I think are really, really cool. And I mean, there's even like an interesting cutscene at the end of the final boss fight that I think really takes the game, the series, in kind of a way that it never really has before. That's all I'm going to say on that topic. If you want to know more about it, comment me down below to talk about the boss fight. For those of you worried about spoilers, I guess don't look at the comments. But anyway, but you know something? I think that this game, especially towards the end, once you start nearing the final boss fight, each kingdom that you go to starts feeling a little bit systematic. It starts feeling kind of, okay, I know what to do. You know, like I'm okay, I'm going inside this kingdom. I know that I need to get power moons, I need to get purple coins. I know what to look for, I know how to look for it. End of story. Until you defeat the final boss. Because you see, you've probably heard about this online. Mario Odyssey has a post game, as do most other Mario games. I feel like that's something that the Mario series does very well, as their post game content. And I wish it's something that other games like Zelda would do more often. But holy crap, guys, the post game changes everything. Let me just say that once you defeat the final boss, you're not even halfway done with the game. Like, there is so much more to do after that. It unlocks new kingdoms. I feel like that's not really a spoiler at this point. I think that was kind of expected. It unlocks new kingdoms. It brings back moons into the older kingdoms. The new kingdoms that you unlock are phenomenal. Oh my gosh. Like, you don't even understand. Please, play this game, and then finish it. And then tell me how you feel about it after you finish the game, because I feel like the post-game, whatever you thought the game was before that, everything up to this point has been a lie, and this is where the real game starts, and this is where it starts going from awesome to amazing. So, anyways, guys, I just need to know, what do you guys think about Mario Odyssey so far? And if you want to talk about the post game and about the boss, go down to the comments. Let's start a conversation going. Let's talk about this game. And again, while I do think it doesn't deserve the perfect scores that it's getting, it feels a little systematic at times. The motion controls are its attraction, and I feel like the game advertises to you very often. It still is one of the best games Nintendo has made, especially in the last 20 to 30 years. And, you know, I mean, I think it's a really cool narrative that Nintendo has released two nearly across the board perfect score games in 1 year. And on top of that, one of them being a Mario game and one of them being a Zelda game. Like, I think this is going to go down in history as one of the best years for Nintendo, and probably actually one of the best years for gaming as well. There were a ton of really great games that came out this year. Persona 5, Horizon, Destiny 2. I mean, this really is a phenomenal year in terms of gaming, but I also think for Nintendo as well, I think Nintendo has kind of really made it an amazing year for gaming. But anyway, that's the topic for another time, I suppose. Again, guys, go down to the comments. Let's talk about this game. Let's have a great time. And, yeah, thank you so much for watching my video. I really, really appreciate it. Hey, I mentioned this in my last video. Make sure you go and follow me on Instagram. Linkatchu_64. I do a lot of posts there about regular updates for Nintendo news and whatnot. I have the link in my channel art. Yeah, so go follow me there. I do a lot more content over there. So anyways, guys, again, thank you so much for watching my video. And what are you still doing here?